Welcome to Crime Watch, and today we're going to tell you about 5 cold cases that were solved years later. Number 5 is the fisherman story. Well, in 1971, two 17-year-old girls named Sherry Miller and Pam Jackson both disappeared while driving through back roads on their way to a party. Well, these girls were never found, and nobody knew what happened until 42 years later, in September 2013, when a fisherman near a creek noticed a car upside down in the water, and he called the police. The police had the car removed and found 2 skeleton remains of the 2 girls, and this creek was less than half a mile from where the girls were driving. The car's license plate also matched the vehicle the girls were driving, and it's really crazy that it took that long for anyone to find the car. They didn't figure out how the girls got into the creek, but they did find the bodies and found out what happened. Number 4 is a case all the way back in 1955, where 3 boys named Robert Peterson, John Schuessler, and Anton Schuessler were hitchhiking after a day of movies and bowling. Someone picked the 3 boys up and took them to his farm stable, killed them, and then threw their bodies in a ditch. The police interviewed 43,740 people, but weren't able to find the killer. Then, in 1994, during an investigation into the disappearance of a different person, several people started talking and blaming a 61-year-old man named Kenneth Hardin in the disappearance of the boys. He was arrested and charged with the killings of the 3 boys and got sentenced to 200 years. Number 3 is a disappearance from 1986, when a 15-year-old named Gracie Gilpin went to a party and never came home. Her body was reported missing and was found 3 weeks later in the woods. The death was ruled a homicide, but no killer was found. The case went 30 years without anybody being convicted, until the police in Boston and North Carolina teamed up to investigate the case and found a potential witness, who was 61-year-old man Michael Hann. Michael Hann tried to blame it on someone else, but later admitted to being in the wood area and killing the teen with a 73-pound boulder. Michael Hann got arrested and charged for the murder. It's kind of crazy but impressive at the same time that the cops worked for over 30 years and finally found who did it. Number 2 is Jacob Wetterling. On October 22, 1989, 11-year-old Jacob Wetterling, his 10-year-old brother Trevor, and 11-year-old friend Aaron Larson were biking home from a store when a masked man with a gun came out of the driveway and told the kids to get off their bike and get on the ground. He asked each boy their age. Jacob's brother was told to run towards the wood area and not look back or he would get shot. Their friend Aaron was told to run away, and the guy picked Jacob to stay with him. Jacob was never seen alive by anyone after this. What happened to Jacob remained a mystery for 27 years, until September 1st, 2016, when the police found Jacob Wetterling's human remains about 30 miles from the abduction. In 2015, a man named Danny Heinrich was named a person of interest in the disappearance of Jacob Wetterling. And Danny had been questioned back in 1989 about the killing, but there wasn't enough evidence, so nothing happened. But in October 2015, Danny Heinrich's home was searched and they found child pornography, so he got arrested. Danny Heinrich led the police to where Jacob Wetterling's remains were. Danny agreed to a plea deal where he wouldn't be charged for the murder, but charged with 1 account of child pornography. He admitted to putting handcuffs on Jacob, driving him to the gravel pit, and molested him. He then shot and buried the boy. Danny Heinrich got sentenced to 20 years in prison, so at least he got punished. The last one is the disappearance of Ethan Patz. On May 25th, 1979, a 6-year-old named Ethan Patz disappeared on his way to the school bus stop. His disappearance helped launch the Missing Children movement that helped track down missing children. The case went cold but was reopened in 2010. However, no new evidence surfaced until a 52-year-old named Pedro Hernandez confessed in 2012 to strangling and killing the boy Ethan Patz on the same day in 1979. Pedro Hernandez ended up getting charged with second-degree murder and got sentenced to life in prison. These people deserve to spend the rest of their life in prison. I can't believe people actually do this. But I hope you guys enjoyed learning about cold cases that were solved years later and some even decades later. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you next time on Crime Watch.